This is going to be your weekly chakra energy check-in. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies you may be experiencing throughout your chakras. So in the comments, please let me know your word of the day, word of the week, basically your general vibe. Now, as I'm filming this, it is Wednesday morning, and I will say that the energy does feel neutral today. I'm pleased to say that because we've had some rough energies. We're not out of the woods yet, but it has been kind of neutral. The energy on Sunday in particular was very heavy. I heard a lot of people tell me that they felt depressed, they felt worn out, they didn't feel like doing much. And I agree with that. I was extremely exhausted on Sunday. I didn't get up till very late. I was definitely in a very, I can't even describe the mood I was in. It wasn't a bad mood, but I wouldn't say it was like, rainbows and butterflies either. I would just say that it was very heavy energy. Now, we are not in Mercury retrograde anymore. We have gone direct. We still have the shadow period, and we are getting very close to a new moon in Virgo. And also, I can't even believe I'm thinking about this already, but the partial lunar eclipse that will happen in Pisces coming up on September 17th or 18th, depending on where you live in the world. All of these energies are this mixture of change. We do have a lot of Uranus energy in the air, and that, of course, is upheaval. It's sudden things, and it's kind of the expect the unexpected vibes, I guess none of us know really what to expect right now. It's kind of keeping us on the edge of our seat. Now, let's take a look at the overall themes and messages for this energy right now. And we have here, wish granted. The outcome may not be exactly what you want, but it's what you need. Interesting. Highest good. This is the tricky part for people. The universe gives us what we need, not necessarily what we want. And so there might be a bit of disappointment in the air, but recognize that things are happening for us, not to us. Now let's see what else. Creativity, creative expression, trust your vision. Let the journey guide you. Like step by step, day by day, being in the present moment. Like I said, you may ask for something and you may get something different because it's needed more, I would say that we take our steps, we make our moves, and whatever happens, happens. I always make the comparison to a Roomba vacuum. What does it do? It spins around the room, it hits the wall, and it redirects itself. So if there's something that kind of throws you for a loop, you just adjust accordingly, And let's take another card here. What else? A win-win outcome is forecast. Okay. Balance. It's going to be okay either way. That's what I'm saying. Even if something isn't what you want, it doesn't mean that it's not good for you, right? So be creative, be open to new things, right? Generate ideas. See where the process takes you. Okay, so let's get into the tarot. I'm going to be using the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, which, as you can see, has all the different colors of the chakras or energy centers in the body. Let's start out with the root chakra, and this is Mars. This is basically your physical body, right? This is your foundation. Let's see. The Princess of Swords, spying or observing. It's almost like we're in this energy of kind of sitting on the sidelines, watching, studying something, learning something before we actually make a move. So we don't have a stability yet, or we don't feel stable yet, but we're kind of feeling it out, if that makes sense. And with that, we have here the wine. See, things are developing right now. You can feel it, like something is brewing, something is developing, ripening. We're kind of waiting for the right time. The only thing with that energy is that it's never the right time. Yeah, see, spilled milk. There's still an element here of crying over spilled milk. Disappointment. Interesting. I mentioned that earlier about disappointment. You know what it is? It's this energy of sitting on the fence. It's like you've got one leg on one side, one leg on the other, and, not wanting to fully take a leap out of fear, right? And I always encourage you to make a move. And that's what I mean about the Roomba vacuum, right? Look, if you make a move and it's not what works, that's okay. You can try something else. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment. Now let's take a look at Venus, the sacral chakra, self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. And this Knight of Swords is telling you to make moves. Swift moves. Like, look, I say take it step by step and day by day. But don't be afraid to try something different on a whim, you know, taking a leap. Make that decision. I think the issue is that some people really have a hard time making decisions. And I talked about this on live recently where I asked how many of you would classify yourself as decisive. And I think that most people are afraid to make a decision. They're afraid to be wrong. They're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of consequences. We're in the what if, we're in the predictive programming. And the thing is that you have no way of knowing until you try. Let's see. Yeah, you're on the right track. That's all you need to know. And when I see that Knight of Swords, it shows sort of like that onward and upward energy. Let's see what else. Person of air. I mean, you might be an air sign or have an air sign placement, you know, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I don't think that necessarily is the meaning of this energy here, because this is about communication, being clear, being concise, right? Quick-witted, and that's the energy of the Knight of Swords. Now, also, keep in mind, on a side note, we have, you know, Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn from the beginning of September till November. And yeah, I mean, we're going towards new energy. You know, after that retrograde, we're going to be in this Aquarius energy. Oh, I got kitty cats that are playing in the background. My apologies. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Let's see. There you go. There's the energy right there. It's almost like a little bit of a battle, right? A little bit of like one last little battle in, you know, in Capricorn before Pluto moves into Aquarius. And so we've got to be decisive. All right. So here's the solar plexus, Ace of Coins, tangible new beginning, which I love. You know, solar plexus is your personal power, right? So this is about you making moves. This is new beginnings for you, an investment in self, an investment in something, new home, new job, new relationship. The seed is planted. And there's the Justice card, equal giving and receiving and balance. We're trying to find that stability, right? We're on the right track to stability, but we have to let it play out. And with that, we have here, Dear John. So this is about, the cold, hard truth. Setting boundaries, letting go, final word, cutting the cord, something's not working, got to move on from it. And interesting that that is a Capricorn card, right? So let's take a look at the heart chakra. What do we need to know about the heart? Matters of the heart. And we have healing, and I love that, the Four of Swords. And that is a heart chakra card because it's green, by the way. So we need to heal our hearts. We have to allow ourselves to rest, rejuvenate, and let go of the weighed down energy. Unlock, you know, the shackle. This could be codependency, addictions, restrictions, an unhappy marriage or relationship. It's emotional baggage, you know? All of that stuff is not good for your heart. And here it says full moon, you know, and the next 6 months and autumn. I mean, in this part of the world, we're getting very close now to the fall. And a lot of changes are happening within this time. I mean, that full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. And of course, we know the next 6 to 9 months. Well, here's the thing. The next 4 months, we're finishing up the year. The first 2 months of 2025 is when we're, you know, setting our intentions. We have no data yet. I always say that at the beginning of the year. We have no data yet. So the next little while is going to be very important to what you want to do, who you want to be, and where you want to go. Let's take a look at the throat chakra. What do we need to know about communication? Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is a brand new emotional beginning. We have 2 aces, and I love that. That's brand new beginnings. This is filling your own cup. It's time that you focus on you. Communicate that you want to focus on you. Interesting, the Church card is about, yes, marriage, family values, belief system, but it's also about the programming we have. We almost have to unlearn everything that we know. I think that's what's scary. You know, we're so programmed to overgive, to overdo, to problem solve, and we have to almost train ourselves to receive, to be good to ourselves, to love ourselves, you know? And I heard something recently that was really fascinating to me. I believe it was a TikTok by Tony Robbins that mentioned, you know, like, what does it mean to love yourself? You know, what are the things that you would do for other people to show them that you love them? Do those things for yourself. Speak highly of yourself. Give to yourself. Another thing about giving to yourself and loving yourself is boundaries. That's a real display of love. That means, like, really, I love you, but I love myself more. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not selfish to love yourself, to put yourself first. It's like we're programmed, you know, to feel shame if we're putting people, you know, second to our well-being. Look, unconditional love, beautiful. This could be about romance, soulmates, uncommon bond, twin flames, whatever label you want to use. Infinite love. But, you know, to me, it's not about just being in relationships. It's about self-love, being the best you. I mean, look, if we have to talk about this in 3 steps, the first step is you. It's ultimately you. It's a better you, right? The relationship comes after, but you do have to give yourself grace and compassion. Now, let's take a look at the third eye. What do we need to know about intuition? Some of you might be holding back, and you've got to be careful with that. I think the issue with intuition often is that we don't know if it's intuition or anxiety. You know, somebody asked a really great dating question actually in live yesterday. And it was, you know, how do I know? I mean, I don't know what it was verbatim, but essentially it was like, well, how do I know if I'm sabotaging myself or if I just really don't want to date this person, you know? And I think what it comes down to is we have to give things a chance. You know, we can't get in our own way. Give something a chance. And if it's not for us, it's not for us. But a lot of the times we talk ourselves out of things because we're just not ready. We think we're ready. I call that perceived openness. But then we end up pushing away the things that we actually really want, you know? And so I would just say, think of something right now that you've been holding back on and ask yourself why you're doing it. You know, why are you holding yourself back? Is it out of fear? You know, are you afraid of getting hurt? Are you afraid that someone's going to leave you? Like, what is the core wound, right? So some of you might have things getting in the way of your intuition. And there it is. It's the baggage, the burdens, the feeling cursed, the guilt, the shame, the regret. You know, right away when I saw feeling cursed, it reminded me of hearing people say things like, it never works out for me. Oh, it just never works out for me. I'm never going to have this. Or in the past, this happened. Well, with that mindset, you're just going to manifest more of it. And I know that that's hard to change. But again, that comes down to the belief system. We have to change the belief system. So how do we do that? That's the $1 million question. You have to put yourself out there and spark new energy. I don't think there's a day that goes by in any of my readings that I don't say that. You have to spark new energy. You've got to be around new people. You've got to find hobbies. You've got to be creative. I mean, there's the creativity card right there. You know, you've got to generate ideas. And with that, we have here the fairy tale. Yeah, believe in the impossible. This is the thing. And I have mixed feelings about this, and I have to articulate this in a way that makes sense. You know, I think that it's true that we were brought up, you know, societally with a lot of fairy tales, especially about romance. At the same time, I don't think it's impossible. I think that anything is possible. I really think it depends on our perspective. I think it depends on our upbringing, where we've been, the experiences we've had, and how willing we are to work through those old traumas, triggers, and hurts. Like, we can't solve them overnight, but we can work through them. It just takes time. It takes persistence. It's hard. It's definitely hard. And let's talk about the crown chakra. Temperance, patience, forgiveness, maybe reconciliation, something brewing here. You know, temperance, it's a tough card for people because everybody wants to see the reconciliation part of that card. At the same time, it's about having patience and forgiveness, you know, for what you've experienced in life. Patience means you trust the process. You let things unfold naturally. You don't try to control it, right? And then at the same time, you forgive the things in the past that hurt you. And that's the tricky part, the forgiveness. Forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, because people feel like if they let go of something, like if they forgive it, that it excuses it or that it erases it. And that's not true. It just gives you a sense of peace. Another thing that I'm seeing a lot lately, you know, in my practice is that there's a lot of anger and resentment, you know, and I think that without that anger and resentment, people say, I don't know what my purpose is then. I don't know what to fill that with. And we need to fill it with compassion and with love, as we just talked about. So there is a lot of anger in the air. That is for sure. I think more than ever. I think people are very tense, very angry, very resentful. And it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of situation or answer. There's the Fool. See, the Fool is telling you to trust and take a leap of faith and allow the energy to unfold. And also, you feel something brewing, let it ripen. That's exactly what we talked about at the very beginning. It's developing. See? Rest, relax. Pause if you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to get up and go, right? That's the key. So, I just want to make a point. I just saw this and it brought me back to something I said earlier. Suspended between two things. Remember I said earlier, it's like being on a fence with one leg on one side and one leg on the other, right? So let's take a card here to finish off and see what we need to know. Now, before I do that, I just want to thank all of you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe, comment, like the video. It really helps me with the algorithm. So let's take a look at our last message here. There you go. Let's look at the beautiful image here. These cards are called keynotes, I believe. Peace. Isn't that what we all want? Sit with your own being in a place of inner peace. Find a place outside in nature. Take in the beauty in everything you see. Listen to the birds, smell the flowers and the air. Aim for serenity. From this state of mind, clarity flows. I am now drawing peace and serenity into my heart. I acknowledge the beauty that surrounds me. You know, 1 + 8 is a 9, and 9 is a number of solitude. So just like that hammock card here, that rest and rejuvenation, maybe some of you need a bit of a timeout, but at the same time, make that move when you're ready. I really hope this resonates with you. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you an amazing day.